Hey everybody, it appears Yuumi has been hotfix buffed, and while normally I wouldn't make a video on one champion being hotfix buff, it's Yuumi, and you all will click on it. Apparently, Yuumi was doing bad. How bad? She was down to a 46.95% win rate, which really isn't that bad, all things considered, for a champion recently nerfed, but Yuumi is a popular champion, so they don't want her win rate to be down all the way here. So what are they doing? We micro-patched out a buff to Yuumi to add some power back in a way that is not super focused into E after putting it into a better long-term spot. We recognize there's a risk to the return of artillery Yuumi, but there aren't a lot of great areas to buff. So yeah, Riot's basically admitting here that Yuumi doesn't have that much in her kit, and there's not much they can really buff to make her viable. So they just decided to buff her Q and her R, because they can't buff her W and they can't buff her E, because that's the buff and that's the heal. So, you know, what are they gonna do? What did they do in particular? The Q base damage has been raised from 50 to 200 to 50 to 250, so 50 more damage at max rank. When you use the empowered Q, its damage is raised from 60 to 260 to 60 to 310, so once again still a mere 50 damage at max rank. But the current health damage has gone from 2 to 8 to 3 to 9%, so 1% more current health. In addition, the ultimate cooldown has been reduced early game from 130 to 110. So not really that impactful of buffs, realistically. 50 damage if you max Q, and a little bit less cooldown on her early game ultimate. Riot continued and here said, long term we're interested in reducing her level of force multiplication with fighters and having her be happier about sitting at marksman. Forcing marksman lane to lane 1v2, then abandoning them later to reduce the counterplay of fighters isn't a great experience for everyone involved. So they're admitting here this is a frequent talking point that a lot of people bring up. Basically, Yuumi players sit bot lane, but don't really do that much during the laning phase, then ditch their bot laner to go sit on a Kayn or something like that who's fed, and then they just 1v2 with that. That's basically this entire video. That's their frustration with Yuumi. There's not a whole lot they can buff with her because the kit isn't very complicated, and they are aware on her toxic design that makes people both hate the fighters she's on and the bot laners that she ditches. What do you think about this, everybody? Leave me your thoughts, like the video, and this is just going to keep short, so that's it. See you, everybody. I hope you all have a great rest of your day.